Hello learners, welcome again to our session. I am your instructor CPA 𝘰𝘕𝘠𝘕𝘠. Recall, in our last class we had introduced regression analysis concept. We mentioned that we'll be talking of two regression concepts. That is simple linear regression and multiple linear regression analysis. We also handled a question from our past paper which was November 2019. This was question number 3. In our session today, still I want us to cement that knowledge and handle another question. This question is going to come from our past paper and it was tested in November 2019 still, question number 5. This is quantitative analysis, but the concept is also very relevant to the students who are doing management accounting and those who are doing advanced management accounting. This concept is also very relevant. So let me share the question in our screen. For those who have the question, you can go through together. For those who don't have the question, you can screenshot whatever I'm going to share on the screen so that we should be on the same page while we are gaining this knowledge. So this is a question that Mwalimu wants us to handle and I'm going to share it on our screen. Question QA, November 2019, question number 5, part C. So this is what we are told. This is what you are told, that I'm having, we are told that John Wekesa is a manager at Mikate Bakers Limited. He intends to establish the cost of each bread. He gathers the following data on the total cost of each day's production for the last 10 days as shown in the table below. I'm having the number of units of bread and we do have our total cost. So we had to require the total cost function using the least squares method, that is of course simple regression. Then you're told if each bread is sold at 50 shillings, predict the break-even number of units of bread. The good question is that also it had incorporated the concept of break-even point. And remember the break-even point, in that case you had looked at break-even point some time back when we were introducing concepts of QA. So that won't be an issue to us because right now I know you'll just be smiling. You will just be smiling. You'll just be smiling. So after noting that one, my good students, let us proceed to that question and see what will be requested to have. I'm giving you time. For those who are screenshotting, kindly take a screenshot of the question very quickly. We proceed. Believing that you've taken a screenshot, now Mwalimu can proceed. Now Mwalimu can proceed, believing that you've taken a screenshot. So this is what you'll have to do. This is what you'll have to do. So let me squeeze this question, probably for the purpose of reference to those who want to reference the question. First thing that you must always tend to do, my good student, to mention is what? Is for us to be able to identify the values of X and Y. That's the first thing that you must always tend to do. Identify the dependent variables and independent variables. And many a times we said, for you to be able to know that this is your aspect of the independent variable, you will not be given in monetary form. You will just be given in units, in hours, and all that, right? Whereas the values that will be given in monetary form, those are the values that, in this case, high chance will be your values of Y. So let me erase here so that you can continue. Regression is always very simple. So long as you've opened your mind wide, you'll find that it is very, very simple. It is very, very simple. It is very, very simple. And we say that we are going to use our shortcut. Remember our shortcut? We did it last time. So the same shortcut we are going to apply in this question of ours. This is, of course, November 2019, question 5. November 2019, question 5. This is QA. Let us go through that, the question, identifying the values of X and the values of Y. So in that question, clearly, we can see that I was given the number of days, a number of units of bread, and total cost. So at this point, number of units of bread, that will be our values of Y. Because it is the number of units of bread that will lead us to the cost that we'll be incurring, because we are looking at production. So the number of breads that we are producing is what will determine the cost that you are going to incur. It's what will determine the cost that you are going to do or to incur. So confidently, I can come and have our values here. I'm having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are given for 10 days. We are given for 10 days. We are given for 10 days. Then, on that note, consider our values of x. So x, in this case, we take it to be the number of units of bread. So I'm having 45. Kindly go with Mwalimu. We do have 42. We do have 55. We do have 43. We do have 60. We do have 40. I'm having 48. We do have 53, 36.6, and I'm having 34. This is 36.6, and we do have 34. That is y, or rather that is x. Y, in that case, I was given here directly. In thousands, of course, I'm having 46. We have 43.2. We do have 46.6. We do have 48. I'm having 56.4. I'm having 44.8. I'm having 46.2. 50.6. We do have 40.2. And you do have 33 here. You do have 33. So the moment I've noted our data, right now actually I can remove this question because you have everything that we need. We have everything that we need. We have everything that we need. So the next question that you're going to ask yourself is, you know very well that your cost predictor equation, always in the form of y is equal to a plus bx. That is what you need to identify. That is what you need to identify. That is what you need to identify. Y is equal to a plus bx. Then ask yourself this question: do you know how to determine the value of b? And do you know how to determine the value of a? That's the next question that you're going to ask yourself. And the good thing is we had looked at this. To determine b, we mentioned we'll be talking of n, summation of xy, minus summation of x, summation of y, into n, summation of x squared, of course, minus summation of x. Then we do, or then we square that one. That is how to determine our b. What about a? For a, recall, we are talking of summation of y minus b, summation of x. We divide by n. N is our number of data values. The moment you do have that case, things are now very easy. We are not going to use our long method, but instead, what are we going to use? We are going to use our shortcut. We are going to use our shortcut. We are going to use our shortcut. So long as you've mastered, the formula clearly, using your shortcut will be very easy. But again, you have to disclose what you are doing. You have to disclose what you are doing. So what Mwalimu is going to do here, we can use the shortcut in the long way, and you'll select the one that will be easier for you. So I'm going to indicate our values here, the variables that I'm required to have. I need to have n. I need to have summation of xy. I need to have summation of x. I need to have summation of y. I need to have summation of x squared. These are the variables that I'll be required to have. And also, I need to have summation of x, then that one squared. I have to disclose our data values. I'll have to disclose our data values. I'll have to disclose the component that will be required to do. Then, after I'm done with that case, let us proceed to our calculator. Let us proceed to our calculator. Recall, the first procedure always is for you to clear your calc. That will be your first procedure, for you to clear your calc. And how will you clear your calc? Mod, or rather shift, mod, 3 equal sign twice. I repeat, for you to clear your calc, you click Shift, Mod, 3 equal sign twice. Then we proceed, identifying x and y to input in our calculator. And this is what we should be having. First of all, press your mod if you're using 82 ms. If you're using 9992FX, in that case, you'll have to consider another value, which in that case, you'll click mod twice. So, after I've clicked mod, this is 82 ms. I'll see where I'm having REG. REG basically stands for regression analysis, or rather regression. So I'll click regression. It will show me regression, linear, logarithm, exponential, and all that. I'm interested with linear. So I'll just click the one that has been written LIN, that is linear 1. Then let us start inputting our data. We start with the values of x. The first value of x is 45. Then I do comma. Remember we did this shortcut in our first class. We did this shortcut and I gave you the procedures in our first class. So allow Mwalimu just to input the data. We are having 45 being our x. Corresponding value of that is y. So you do comma, then 46. M plus 42, comma, 43.2, M plus 45, or rather in this case I'm having not 45 but 55, comma, 46.6, M plus 43, 48, M plus 60, comma, 56.4, M plus 40, 44.8, M plus 48, 46.2, M plus 53, 50.6, M plus 36.6, 40.2, M plus 34, 33, M plus. So you can clearly see that my n value, it has given us what? It has given us 10. And at this point, this is where your eyes need to be open very, very wide. Because if you're a member of that church, you know the church that I'm talking about, kindly, don't go to that church before you enter your exams. Yeah, don't go to that church before you enter your exams, right? Because here your eyes need to be very, very open. Your eyes needs to be very, very open. Don't go to that church. That is, of course, before you enter your exam, right? You go to that church after you're done with the exams. So I'm having n. N, clearly you can see here, I'm having 10. I am interested with these variables of ours. How will we determine these variables? What you need to do, just click Shift, then 1. Click Shift, then 1. It will indicate such values. It will indicate such values. I am interested, my good student, with the summation of xy. I am interested in the summation of xy. So I'm going to scroll where we have xy. Xy, I can clearly see summation. I'm having number 3. So I just click 3. That will give me a figure of 21,180.12. Summation of x. Summation of x, I do Shift, then 1. I scroll to where I'm having summation of x, which is number 2. So I'm clicking 2, then equal sign to give me 456.6. 456.6. 456.6. Summation of y, the same concept, Shift 1. I scroll to where I'm having y, which is 2. That should give me 455. 455. Summation of x squared, Shift 1. Summation of x squared is 1. Equal sign to give me 21,471.56. Summation of x then is square. Summation of x is 456.6. 456.6. Then I square that. I'm getting here a figure of 208,483.56. The moment I've disclosed my data like that and I've shown my examiner that these are our values, the next stage is for you to substitute these values in our formula, whereby I'm going to do B. You have to be smart, right? N I've seen is 10. I multiply by XY summation, which is 21,180.12. I less summation of X, which is 456.6 times summation of Y, which is 455. Okay? Then I need to divide all this by what? Summation N, that is N, summation of X squared, so we are talking of 10, times summation of X squared, which is 208,483.56. We less summation of X, then we square. Summation of X, so summation of X squared, we're having 21,471.56. So that is what you should be having. Then again, just proceed to your calc. Just proceed to your calc. I'll do shift. Okay? This time round, go to 2. You select 2. Then scroll to where we have B. Using the replay button, scroll to where we have B. B, we have 2. So you just click 2, then equal sign. That should give me a figure of 0.6496. So that will be our B. Then I need to determine the value of A. For A, so long as I know my formula clearly, I know I must have summation of Y, which is 455. We are determining it at that point, right? At this point, summation of, on that case, of course, we need to do what? We need to multiply by B, which is 0.6496 times summation of what? This is minus, sorry. Minus, or rather, sub B, which is 0.6496. We multiply by X. Our X, in this case, is 4, summation of X, 456.6. We divide by N, data value. Data value is our N. Number of data values. The number of data values, in that case, we had how much? We had 10. So we just do 10. Then, what will we be having as our figure there? Our figure there, what we should be talking about, my good student, I come to my calc again. I do shift. Then I click 2. I scroll to where we have A. My A is number 1. I click 1, then equal sign. I can clearly see I'm having 15.8402. So that should be our value of A. Predictor equation, that will be very easy because I'll just be taking my Y, which will be equal to what? 15.8402 minus BX. BX in this case, remember, we are talking of, that is of course not plus BX. B, we've determined our B to be 0.6496. I don't have a predictor. In this case, I don't have the independent variable, so I'm having X. So this will be our predictor equation. And this is what the examiner wanted us to determine. As simple as that, using your calc, so long as you have displayed your figures in this manner. That will be very, very easy for you. That will be very, very easy for you. That will be very, very easy for you. So after you've done that, and you've agreed that, don't go to exam. Don't go to exam, or rather, don't go to exam. Probably after you've gone to that church. Make sure that you are, after exam is when you go to that church of ours, right? So that is what we are required to do. The next part of the question, what the examiner had asked us, the examiner had mentioned to us what? This is what you are told. If each bread is sold at 50 shillings, predict the break-even number of units of bread. If each bread is sold at 50 shillings, we need to predict the break-even number of units of bread sold. So that is what the examiner had asked us. At this point, break-even point. Recall the break-even point. Recall how to determine our break-even point, right? To determine our break-even point, always recall the aspect to do with fixed cost. We divide by contribution margin. That is what must always tend to click at the back of your mind, which I believe we did this concept sometimes back. We did this concept sometimes back. So, having mentioned like that, the next thing that we need to do is what? I'll have to determine our break-even point, and this is how we are going to work it out. Remember, our figures here were in thousands. So this is what will be required to do. We should talk of what? 15.8402. Our figures are in thousands, right? So if we have it by 1,000, basically it's converted into whole of contribution margin. Selling price, for us to determine our contribution margin, always will be taking our selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit, And in our case, selling price examiner here, let me share the question. The examiner here had given us a selling price of 50. The big question that you should ask yourself is, what will be your variable cost, my good students? What will be your variable cost? That will be very simple, because our variable cost, in that case, you know very well, we should be having 50 minus B, the one that we've determined. So we are going to take 50 minus our B variable cost that we've determined, 0.6496. So whatever figure that I'll be having, that will give us what? Our break-even point. So confidently, here we can take what? At this point, this is what we should have. At this point, this is what we should have. I'm having 15.8402 times 1,000 to give us in value total. We divide by 50 minus 0.6496. That should give me a figure of 320. Kindly confirm 320. Kindly confirm your figures with mwalimu. 320.97, which in other words, my break-even point in units, we should be talking of 321. You can't have half bread, right? You can't have half bread. So basically, this is a concept of regression. Imagine as simple as that. You will be having a whole concept of regression analysis. So that in our next class, what we'll be doing, we will be looking at multiple regression concept, which again is also very simple for multiple regression concept, which again is very simple. So to this point, my good students, I want you to meet me in the next session whereby we are going to look at multiple regression analysis. Thank you so much, and let us meet in the next session.